plan there. A young black person go out and do something, he get 40 years. Same white, another race of people do the same thing, get 2 years. So it's up to us. We have a plan. We have the right people in place. They're going to teach us entrepreneurship. They're going to teach us how to run a business. And that's the only thing we can do. We can't depend on someone else to get us out of this problem. We must depend on ourselves. So that's all I can say. You know, I'm going to be in charge of the CTI program. That's a construction training initiative. If you have any youth that want to learn something, I will get in touch with us. And I'll make some kind of arrangement. Try to get them to the school if I can't train them on something. Thank you. Have a nice day.
I'm Sister Diane Mohammed, one of the co-founders, and I'm a board member of the Al-Fitrah. I also work in the area of public relations and family life program. We also was not able to be here today, but Samuel A.U. the lab. He works with me in that department, and I'm very pleased that you all stayed to hear what we have to say. And we're no one important, no one up here is more important than people sitting in the audience, because without you, we wouldn't be sitting up here, we would be sitting there, and there'd be empty chairs. If there's only one person who's listening, family life is where charity begins at home. And we have to establish a communication family life point. It begins with husband and wife, and it spreads outside of the home. You don't bring it into the home.
Matthew, the last speaker you want.
Establish it outside of the home. Establish your foundation is your family life. If you are married, then you should encourage your spouses to attend events. If you're not married, encourage some single brother or some single sister to attend the event. You may meet someone there. But where we are today is that we need to establish a more heartfelt, a more genuine family life that keeps us focused. Because the gang can't get in your home unless you open up the door and let them in. Whether they are Muslims, Christians, or Jews. I wrote a poem for a sister, Susan, was my friend, passed away. It said, who would speak for me, whether they be Muslim, Christian, or Jew? When I'm lying there like this, unable to speak for myself, who would speak for me? And I'll leave you with that thought, that you keep your family strong. Assalamu alaikum.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Matthew Ramadan, and I am not a member of the Al-Fitrah. However, I recently had an opportunity to talk with Abu Muhammad and with Daia. They asked me to share some of the experiences that we've had in successfully working to address the issues of youth gangs and violence and reduction of crime. And is my Black Wall Street brother still here? There you go. Yeah, I'm the one who shouted out which one. Because three of my four grandparents are from Oklahoma and from the Tulsa area, and were actually born on the Cherokee Reservation. And I didn't realize it then, but we knew our history. A lot of our folks don't know our history, and so we don't know who we are, where we come from, and what our purpose in life is. I was raised in Los Angeles, California, with the Crips and Bloods. I never was a Crip, but they were my friends. Some people may have heard of Michael Conception, the one who wrote the Crip Bible, they called him. His younger brother Vincent was my best friend growing up in the Nicholson Garden Project, right off of Central Avenue and Imperial Highway. So, because I knew who I wasn't drawn into that. But it also told me something else, that with our people not knowing who they are, not knowing where they come from, and not knowing their purpose in life, they're easily misled. So we made up our minds early on, my grandfather, and I should just say something else for I wasn't there, my family wasn't there in 1921 in Tulsa. They actually left earlier because my great-grandfather was a fugitive from what they would call a fugitive from this country's justice. Because he was wealthy, as you mentioned, with Black Wall Street, the Cherokee freedmen, as they were called, they could have their land taken from them. White people could take their land from them, but they couldn't take it from Indians. And he decided that he wasn't going to let somebody take his land. And so when they came to frighten him, thinking that he would be afraid of people wearing white hoods, he shot and killed them. And he loaded up my great-grandmother and my grandfather and my grandfather's younger brother, and they took their best horses and were headed to Canada. And just outside of Minneapolis, they found that nobody was still pursuing them, and they decided to stay there. And so I was born and raised in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where we had a lot of success in addressing the issues of gangs as they started migrating here. I think some people may remember a group called Vice Lords and Willie Lloyd. We inherited him. And so I had to deal with them when they came to Minnesota. And working in the prisons and working with the young men, one of the things we found, anybody can write a grant and ask to solve a problem, and the problem still exists year after year after year after year. It doesn't take a lot of money, though. What it takes is dedication to these young men, and as I heard other panelists say, to listen to them and find out what they want to do. So one of the things that we did, for instance, we thought we had a curriculum that they could use to deal with violence and gang prevention and drug prevention. They took our curriculum and they threw it back at us and said, this is how we would present it. Now, most people get too proud and have too much ego to say, you know, I'm not going to let you tell me I got the curriculum that works. We based this on such and such doctor, PhD's theories. We said, no, take it and run with it. And we'll go out and raise the money to pay you to go into the schools. You gang members, you ex-drug dealers, we'll pay you to go into the schools and teach other young people how not to do this, and pay you as consultants, and pay you to do it. It was called the Innovative Teen Intervention Project. And we hired 50 young men who would come right off the streets and pay them just the consultant rate at that time was $10 an hour. And let them go into the schools and teach. And it got so powerful, I heard somebody in the previous panel say about turning in people who are doing drugs in your own home. This process, because it was talking about the conspiracy against you. Don't be a part of the conspiracy against you. If you know that you got all these drugs out in the community, and you have legal and illegal drugs, I just real quickly said illegal and illegal drugs, and you know that the illegal drugs don't kill as many people as the legal drugs do in this country, but the legal drugs are made legal through paying taxes on the legal drugs. The most legal drug in this country is tobacco. And what do? You pay, I think the government said we need to pay another dollar higher on the tobacco so we can still keep on killing people, but we pay the taxes on it. And so now it's legal. And who collects the money? We don't collect that money. It doesn't come back to our community. It goes to the government that's supposed to be giving you a small grant to stop the drug and to say no to drugs, but they're collecting big money on the legal drugs. So we pointed out to these young men, do you see the conspiracy? Don't aid the conspiracy against you. And what they would do is they'd go home and they'd see their parents. If their parents weren't even doing, blunts or whatever, if they were just doing alcohol and tobacco, they would say, no, we can't have that in our home. If I'm going to be out there educating my peers about not doing it, we definitely can't have it in my house. It's got to start in the home. And so that's why I said I would volunteer to work with this group and help them address these issues and know that we can be successful and know that we can make a difference. Because again, what we said is each one teach one. Look at how that domino effect happened over years. This started in 1992, and it's been going on ever since. And now we have thousands of young people that have gone through this and are actually teaching their peers and reducing the problems of drugs and crime in the community.